story finds its end. Mine closed under fire, blood, and a silence that felt like the world holding its breath. One by one, the men who had touched her or laughed at her pain had paid. Each meeting was a small verdict, brutal, precise, final. But one face remained, the ringleader, the man wrapped in protection and arrogance, the one the law bowed away from. He was the last ledger I had to close. I watched him the way a patient hunter watches the sunset, slow, constant, cataloging habit and hubris. He moved with a confidence fed by impunity. His nights were loud with laughs and the scent of other people's fear. I studied the architecture of his life, who guarded his doors, which friends flanked him, how his arrogance softened at the edges when he thought himself alone. Then, when the pattern bent the way I'd planned, I pulled the thread. He opened his door with that careless laugh, the sound of a man who believed himself untouchable. "Do you really think you can touch me?" he mocked, the words clattering like coins. I stepped across that threshold and into the gravity that had been building for months. My voice was small and even. "You destroyed her. You destroyed everything." For a heartbeat, his smirk cracked. Fear flitted across his face like a weak candle. The fight that followed was brief and merciless. Not cinematic, not righteous, only necessary and ugly. Each blow I landed held months of sleepless nights and screams I'd swallowed. Every strike was an accounting of his laughter against her silence. When he lay broken and begging, the mercy I might once have known had long since been burned away. I leaned close and whispered, "Justice is not a word. It is a scream that lingers long after the body falls." Then I burned it all. I fed his arrogance to fire and watched the flames take shape of the thing I'd been feeding for so long, an old grief made into heat and ash. Left while the building flared, the city going on indifferent as always. Taxis humming, neon blinking, people drifting by like ghosts who had never known her laugh. Ash smelled like vengeance, sharp and metallic. It did not smell like peace. I survived what I did. The man who had kissed Layla goodnight was dead long before that night, replaced by someone honed and hallowed by loss. Revenge had stripped me of innocence, of hope, of the small gentlenesses that once defined me. In quieter hours, when the world softened and the memory of her came like a hand on my shoulder, I heard something almost like approval in a voice I loved. "You did it," she seemed to say. It sounded like absolution until I remembered that memory cannot stitch what is shattered. So I walked on, carrying the weight of what I'd done, the life I lost and the lives I took in its name. The city moved around me, unforgiving, unaware. Sometimes at night I imagined the ashes settling and something new taking root. But the truth was thinner. Victory had a price, and I had paid it in full. What remained was not the peace I had chased, but the hollow proof that I could make them pay. That proof kept me company in the dark, and it was not enough.